Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Simply Sheeta. It's nice to see you guys in this crazy world that we're living in. And I thought, what a great time to make a video. Actually, I feel like this video is a little overdue. I've been wanting to do it, but as you guys all know, coronavirus has really shut a lot of things down, made things a little crazy. And I'm here today to finally talk to you guys about a subject matter that I actually have been thinking about. There's quite a few things actually I've been thinking about, but now that my life has kind of slowed down because of everything that's going on, I thought today would be a great day to talk to you about what I think is something that a lot of people don't really talk about in the VSG community, because I guess people kind of don't notice it, or they're not really paying attention to it, or the impact of it, I guess I should say. These are just little things that I thought would be just a great subject matter to discuss, because a lot of people are starting to look more into surgery. A lot of people are getting surgery, and if anyone is following me that is in that stage of just kind of figure out, these are a couple of things I just wanted to give you to think about, stages of VSG that you don't really commonly hear about. So stay tuned, and we're gonna get right into this. Okay guys, so we know that usually when you think of stages, people in the VSG community associate the stages with the first few stages that you go through post-op, which is, you know, the liquid stage, the parade stage, the soft stage before you can finally eat food. And that's about maybe 2 months, depending on your program. You usually have about 2 weeks of each stage, which again equals to about 2 months worth of different changes. Well, at this point, guys, I am 7 months, almost 8 months post-op. At the end of this month, I'll be 8 months. So I'm long past that stage, and now I am starting to experience stages that I didn't quite think about. Good and bad, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of them. And of course, if you have any comments, any feedback, anything to add, please make sure that you leave that information in the comments, because this, of course, is something that is going to differ depending on the person and their journey. This is what my stages, favorite and least favorite parts of these two stages I'm about to discuss for my journey at 7 months, almost 8 months post-op. So let's start with the good. So the stage that I think is probably my favorite is the stage that I am in now, which is the stage of normalization. This is kind of when you begin to really understand and know how to eat, what you can eat. I've of course socialized since then, as you guys can see from my bar. No, I didn't drink that, I just had a party. But you can see I still have lots of alcohol left because I don't really drink anymore, because I know what I can and can't do. And that is where I am now. I think this is the stage that probably people, when they first come out of surgery, and in that first month, they can't even really see this stage, but it will come. You know, your body will adjust, your mind will adjust. That is the beauty of the human body. It will adjust. So at this stage, there are things that, you know, I'm really, you know, is a no-brainer for me. Portion size. I know how much I can eat. I know if I eat a little bit more than what that portion is, I'm going to shut it down. It's going to shut me down. And, you know, it does happen. You know, I will not lie. It does not happen often. But there have been moments where I've had that one last, you know, that bite that I should not have had, that have taken me from full to stuff, which is a miserable feeling. I know what I can and cannot eat. I know I can eat, for example, I told you guys before, ground beef sits well with me, but I can no longer really enjoy a steak the way I did pre-op, because it's just too heavy. So I eat a lot of ground beef, and it's funny because recently I went to a restaurant where I would have usually ordered steak, and they had meatloaf. I ordered it. My daughter was like, "What are you doing?" And it was weird, but it was good, and I could tolerate it. I know how to prepare my foods. I know what are the best ways. I know which are not the best ways for me to be able to digest certain things. I do a lot of crock pot cooking. I do a lot of cooking in the air fryer. And as you guys know, and I've always said, I prefer to cook my own food simply because I can control portion size. I can control flavors, calories, etc. The other thing, of course, at this stage, I am aware of what it's like socially as a VSG patient, you know, going out for lunch. I've done brunches, and again, I've thrown a party myself back in February. So I've learned that, and that's the stage of normalcy that I am so happy to be at. Now, of course, with the good, there is some bad. With normalcy, sometimes you end up falling back into bad habits. And I told you guys I've done that in some ways. Sometimes with normalcy, you forget about the good habits. For example, I realized today in getting my information for you guys that I hadn't logged in Berrytastic in forever, except my weight and my measurements, like food-wise. And I didn't want to have to live the rest of my life logging, but there is benefits to it. I'm not saying today I'm going to get back into it right now, because I don't want to lie to you guys. I don't want to lie to myself. But there is benefit to, of course, logging your food. You can track everything more. Am I getting my 80 grams of protein? I assume so, and that's not good. I know I'm assuming. I don't know for sure. I could eat a lot more, so it's probable, because I do eat a lot of protein, especially seafood. But we know that's just a really good habit. So that's part of the downside of normalization, is because, of course, you start to, you know, life gets normal. You start to do normal things that you used to do. And slowly and surely, you know, you find that, okay, this VSG thing isn't bad. I just can't eat like a pig anymore. I can't eat a larger portion anymore. And you know what? That's fine for me. I don't have a problem with it. So that is my favorite stage, the normalization stage, the good and the bad. So my least favorite stage, guys, and I guess to really help you understand why this is my least favorite stage, I kind of got to go back to the beginning. So growing up, I've always been obese. I've always had weight on me. As a kid, you know, it was cute when it was chubby, but as an adult, as a young adult, you know, I had a size on me. And as a result, especially during the time when which was like the 80s, there weren't a lot of plus size options. They were out there. They definitely were better than what my mom had to choose from, but they weren't really the way they are now. Whereas, you know, you could pretty much find the same thing in a size 4 that you can in a 24. Like, they make the clothes the same. Well, it was probably it wasn't until I maybe got into like my 18, 19, where I was able to actually dress like other women my age, as far as wearing trendy clothes. But of course, it came with a price. I mean, plus size clothes, as we know, comes with a price. And I'm not going to go on a rant about that, but you guys know, if you want to look, especially during that period where there weren't a lot of plus size options, but if you want to look nice, if you want your clothes to fit well, you have to spend more. That was something I knew, being plus size. I accepted it. And as a result, for years, I spent a lot of nice money on nice items. And I really, truly took pride in the way I dressed. The one thing that I did not ever want to be was the fat, sloppy woman. I just never wanted that to be part of my moniker. I mean, people might say, you know, you're fat, but they could never say that I wasn't clean and groomed well, and, you know, my clothes didn't look nice, and that I did not wear nice things. I know I did, because I spent the money to do so. So that brings me to the stage that I'm currently in right now at 7 months post-op, almost 8 months at the end of this month, whereas I cannot fit anything. I am so unable to fit clothes, guys. My clothing is pretty much hanging on me. Or wait, let me say this. I am like in between two places. My wardrobe is kind of like, either I can fit it, but it's hanging on me, or I can't fit it at all. Another case in point, my younger daughter, I actually weigh less than she does, but I can't fit her clothes because of the way she's built. We're built two totally different ways. So right now, it's very hard to avoid the sloppy look when everything is hanging on you. Now, for me, this is not the time to shop. I have shopped. I bought like some things. I bought little things. But when I say shop, I mean like go out and get the the good stuff. I have had to do a lot of disposable shopping, and by that I mean buy clothes that are basically cheaper than what I would normally buy, because I know I might not be able to wear it but maybe a couple of weeks, a month, or it's going to and somehow, you know, begin to hang. Now, for some, this might be, you know, their little badge of honor. And, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining that I'm losing weight so much that my clothes don't fit. It's just the fact for me, because it's hard to tell what size I wear, I can't shop the way I would like to shop, especially now with the coronavirus and everything kind of being closed. You know, I would have to go into a store, whereas before I could kind of online shop, which I've done with some success and a lot of failures, you know, constantly taking things back. Again, this is just for me because, you know, everybody is different. I'm sure if you asked a room full of VSG patients what their least favorite stage was, this might not even be a part of it, because people think, oh, I can buy new clothes and blah, blah, blah. And it's great to get to that point, but I have not stabilized yet. So again, excuse me, I do not know my size. I do not know. I know that I am pretty much out of plus sizes, but I can't say that I can wear 16 either. So, yeah, it's pretty much kind of like up in the air for me. And because I'm losing my weight slowly, it's a good thing in the sense that my clothes that I had, now the very largest sizes, I've had to donate. I had some 24s in my wardrobe that I didn't think were really actual 24s. I just thought that they were small cut, you know, they were cut small, and I was really a 22. No, my ass was really a 24. Those I had to get rid of. Things like tank tops that I buy from Old Navy every year. I will always, you know, stock up on their tanks because I like to dress in layers. And those tank tops often were extra large tall, so they would be longer. Well, now that I've lost weight, they're baggy. They, you know, this shirt, for example, I haven't really been able to wear this in a couple of years because it was so tight. And it's just like little things like that. Now, on the flip side, on the good side of this, I was able to dress properly in layers this winter. And by properly, I mean there were things that I could not wear because I was too big. Like, for example, I can wear hoodie with my denim jacket now, or I can wear a shirt underneath of a sweater and it lays correctly. So that's the good part. Like the clothes that I did have that may have been not fitting the best, that were kind of small, like I hadn't worn them in years because they were too small. Well, those clothes I can pull out now. I can see how they are supposed to fit. Some I'm finding was not my style, like it's not my style now. Others I'm like, eh. But at least I can at least start pulling things out, wearing them. Even if I wear them once or twice because maybe they're too big, they go to the Goodwill. At least I can say I got in it again. So this is, again, just kind of like one of those stages we're all going to go through. Anyone that's had VSG will go through. And depending on you and you know, your shopping style and, you know, how you might want to present yourself, it can be kind of like a frustrating stage. For me, especially, you guys know I started a new job. I work in the city. I really would like to be able to dress a certain kind of way, and I still can't yet. And now that the spring is coming and I have to start taking off layers, I am finding myself with some challenges because sometimes those layers help me keep stuff up. You know, I was wearing a pair of tights with jeans over top just to keep the jeans up. I've even noticed that my shoes are larger now, and I was wearing 2 pairs of socks, you know, with shoes and things like that. So I need to go shopping. I need to go shopping, but I'm not in a rush to shop because I want to stabilize. And of course, we all know right now with the coronavirus, there really isn't a whole lot of options and places to shop outside of online shopping, which is just not something I'm gonna do. So guys, those are a couple of stages that I wanted to talk about. Again, For everybody, it may be different. For some people, it may be the stage when they start losing their hair. For some people, it may be, you know, a stage that I'm not even aware of because it comes later down the pike. But for the most part, at this point, at 7 months, I can say, I feel like if I can say these are the worst things that I've experienced, it's not a bad thing. You know, it's not a bad journey. So before I go, I do want to provide you guys with some stats. I know I usually do it in the beginning, but I figure if I give stats at the end, it'll make you watch the whole thing. No. Let me quickly just run through some stats. When I weighed myself prior to the video, I'm at 240.6, and 240 is actually the last time I can remember losing weight on my own. I got down from, I went from 270 to 240 doing Weight Watchers and walking 2 miles on the track every single day. I didn't eat red meat. It wasn't brutal, but it was more work than what it is now. So I am at 240.6. I'm pretty sure that's just a 2-pound loss since I talked to you guys, and honestly, that's how I'm losing at this point, and I'm totally fine with it because I'm only within about 15 pounds from losing 100 pounds, which was always my ultimate goal. If you haven't been following me, and just so people know, my highest weight recorded, which was in January of 2019, I was at 328. The day of my surgery, which was July the 31st, 2019, I was 308 pounds, which means I lost 20 pounds before. And with the 240.6, that gives me a grand total of about 88 pounds I've lost since starting my journey in January, which I take it. It's not bad. You know, sometimes I think to myself, you know, I should be doing more higher numbers, but everybody's journey is different. And the fact of the matter is, I feel as though for me personally, I feel better, and that was always it for me. I feel so much better, and I could not have lost this weight on my own and kept it off. Like, that's the thing. When I do the math, I'm like, 10 pounds a month, I could have lost 10 pounds a month, but could I have lost 10 pounds and kept off the weight? Or what would I had to have done? I think, you know, I've been very honest with you guys. This has kind of been effortless for me. I'm still, you know, not finding myself being challenged in ways that other people have been. I'm grateful that I have had my journey go extremely well. I do have a ways to go. You know, there are at least, I have at least 6 to 8 months to go before I actually, you know, I guess plateau. So, you know, we'll see. But it has been 232 days since my surgery. I actually saw this on the Baritastic app because I told you I only go there to log weight, but I'm gonna get better with that. I also have measurements I took on the 20th of February that I wanted to share with you guys. But I feel like this video is so long, and I really don't want to make these videos too long because I don't want people to be like, what is she talking about? So I'll talk about my measurements in the next video. I will say the inches is definitely coming down a lot faster than the pounds, which is why you should never ever depend on the scale to measure your success. And I will include some full body shots so you guys can kind of get an idea of what I look like, and maybe some comparison shots, because as I told you, I'm on the new phone. I haven't quite figured it out, how to do all the other stuff that I used to do with my editing, but I am working on it. So I'm going to end this video, guys, with the same thing I tell you all the time. Love yourself more. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. It is so important on any day, but we are living in some crazy times. This coronavirus is really scary. So loving yourself, if it means self-isolating, do it. Loving yourself means washing your hands and protecting yourself, and, you know, the social distancing and taking this thing seriously. I'm very just like blown by what's going on in the world. You know, it's not just in my state or my city, in the world. So this is very serious. So if you are stuck at home, if you are working from home, if you are self-isolating, use that time to really love on yourself. You know, read some books and take the hot baths and pamper yourself, be with your family, take in all that love, because the world is really becoming crazy. It's just like insane, and it's going to be crazier as these days go on because the cases are just getting worse. So you all stay safe. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. It's free. And I am going to be trying to get myself back into my routine of my videos now that my life is kind of getting back into, you know what? I'm not going to say that part because that's the last thing. Life is getting back into a routine, but I got the time. So we'll talk again sooner than later. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Stay safe.